had nothing but like incredible student peer support of each other. They cheer for each other. They hold space for each other. They help each other practice. And they have so much fun with it. And I think that students really enjoy seeing their peers reciting poetry. They may not all confess that, but as a teacher in the classroom, I see it happen. Poetry Out Loud is like absolutely aligned to the California state standards. It meets reading standards, it meets writing standards, listening and speaking standards. You could just take this program and use it exactly how it's offered, meet standards, and provide students an opportunity that is different than what we usually provide. It's a form of differentiation as well, as meeting students who generally maybe struggle in English classes. You're giving them an alternative way of demonstrating engagement and understanding of language. And I just let students know, this is what we're doing. Everyone's doing it. There's no opting out, but choose your own adventure. There's hundreds of poems. The only real rule is it has to be from the Poetry Out Loud website, so that if you surprise yourself and you're one of the top reciters in the class, you can continue on with the school competition and then the county competition. But every student, every year that I've done this, has presented a poem. And there's something incredibly powerful about that, about every single students that love English, students that it's not their favorite subjects. Some students have never read a poem by choice ever in their lives. They've never memorized anything. And it gives them that opportunity to, or, some would say challenge, to like develop public speaking skills as well as a connection with language in a really authentic, kind of meaningful way. There's a shift in perspective across the board in how students feel about themselves and how they feel about each other, I think. Students surprise me every year. Every single year, I think, oh, that student's definitely going to be one of the top, or that student's going to be one of the top. And there's always students who I would never imagine would rise to the occasion that do. This year, I had a student who was pretty against the whole idea, didn't like poetry, didn't want to do it, and they ended up going to the Poetry Out Loud finals and learned about themselves, like learned that they were capable of things they never thought they were capable of. They found the right poem, and they found a poem that spoke to them and they felt was written for them. And going through Poetry Out Loud helped a student step into themselves and own their truth in a way. And the poem allowed them to say things that they didn't know how to say on their own.
I am Jade Ford, and I will be reciting Stump by Nikki Grimes. Stump. I come home, feet about to bleed from angry stomping. Boy, says Mom, quit making all that racket. But what does she expect when day after day haters sling words at me like jagged stones designed to split my skin? I retreat to my room, collapse on the bed, count 1, 2, 3. When I get to 10, I snatch up journal and pen, flip to a clean page, and unload my hurt and my rage till I can breathe again. Letter by letter, I rediscover my power to decide which words matter, which words don't, and whose.
Well, one of the things that I think is so special about Poetry Out Loud in and of itself is the connection to a larger community of literary artists. It kind of like it helps take what we're doing in the classroom and make it seem like maybe relevant and that it applies to the real world. And then I think that with the inclusion of Sierra Poetry Festival and with students that are involved in Poetry Out Loud, are invited to the Sierra Poetry Festival. In fact, like all students are invited for free to go to the Sierra Poetry Festival. And I think that the inclusion of youth voices is so important.